What we do here is go back.
In 2015, Ethan Jomha, formerly known as Idubbbz, became the internet's most feared content creator. His series, by the name of Content Cop, wasn't just for entertainment, it was execution. He'd take down both celebrities, streamers, and other content creators with surgical precision, backed by actual evidence and philosophy so consistent that you couldn't poke a single hole in it. By 2016, he had over 6 million subscribers and a cultural authority that most mainstream creators actually feared. From
He f***ed me with a toothbrush!
To
Yo, everybody type in the chat, Alex is a stupid...
was not free from criticism. But by 2026, he had become a cautionary tale on how not to have a public relationship online. And the worst part? Most of it was preventable, because it all started when he met the now infamous Anisa Jomha. This is a story of how one relationship destroyed everything he had built, and why young men keep making the same mistake all over the world. This is the story of Idubbbz and his wife Anisa Jomha.
If you can, I just want to ask you if you've always been shitting your pants.
To understand what Idubbbz lost, you have to understand what he had in the first place. From 2015 to 2016, he had created something rare, a personal brand with internal logic so airtight that you couldn't attack him for any bit of hypocrisy. This was because his philosophy was simple. Either all of it is okay, or none of it is. That meant that if you criticized someone for making sexual content, you couldn't just turn around and make sexual content yourself. If you called out people for fake apologies, then your apologies had better been real. If you demanded consistency from others, then you had to be consistent. His Content Cop series had become the internet's most feared format because he never broke his own rules. He took down Leafy's Here, Tanamonjo, and also Rice Gum. And when he did, it stuck, because his audience trusted him. That trust is definitely worth something. A lot of something. It's the foundation to a successful career, but once broken, it's almost impossible to rebuild.
Do you think it was cool when I was playing with anal beads?
Anisa Jomha wasn't famous. She was a mid-tier Twitch streamer who went by Rainbow Kids. Her content was simple. She'd stream League of Legends in progressively more revealing outfits, and then her chat would be increasingly crude. She then monetized that crudeness. Viewers could pay to have their most offensive comments read aloud. She was, by an honest assessment, what Idubbbz has spent years criticizing. A booby streamer monetizing her body over any actual content or skill. Something that you'd think Idubbbz would take an issue to, given his old content. When Idubbbz started dating her back in 2016, his fanbase immediately questioned it. Not because they were jealous, but because it was hypocritical. And then came the year of our Lord 2020. The year that would single-handedly kill this man's career. Anisa had announced that she was starting an OnlyFans account. Idubbbz had previously mocked and criticized sex workers, but his response had some backlash from his fans and was defensive and, in hindsight, damning.
For those of you who are unaware of the drama I recently brought upon myself, I'll fill you in. My girlfriend started an OnlyFans account, which is a website where you can upload amateur porn. And I think all of it is cool.
First of all, I'm not your fucking dad. Like, if you don't want to look up to me anymore, that's fine. I don't want you to look up to me. And then there's no special pussy. It doesn't become less valuable the more people see it. If Philip Bezos did OnlyFans, that would be a perfectly fine thing to do. If you are upset by me admitting this, then I suggest you go idolize someone else.
That's not how you handle a philosophical contradiction. That's how you admit that the philosophy was never real. For the first time, Idubbbz's brand, built entirely on consistency, had cracked, and his fanbase was quick to notice. But here's the thing, Anisa did not need that OnlyFans money. Idubbbz is already successful and wealthy. She had a choice to make, and she chose the option that would make the most damage to Ian's brand. Whether intentionally or not, she'd already shown him her priority, her income and attention over his credibility.
I think only in these past couple of years have I gained the ability...
Empathy.
Around the same time, something else had happened. Idubbbz's content had shifted noticeably. From 2015 to 2017, he had made edgy, format-heavy videos. Think Content Cop, Bad Unboxing, and other series that required creativity and risk-taking. After 2017, those videos had become rarer, and eventually they disappeared almost entirely. Sounds like some of my old videos, honestly. I've really fallen off. I'm trying to lock in. We got a new year, new me. Stay tuned. By 2020, he had apologized for his past content, calling himself hateful, and unlisted many of his old famous videos. Videos that had defined his brand, and videos that had given him over 6 million subscribers. Fans pointed to Anisa. She's making him soften his image, they said. She doesn't like the edgy Idubbbz, they also said. Idubbbz denied it. He said it was personal growth, and he had regretted being harsh, and he said he wanted to do better. Maybe that's true, or maybe you're in a relationship that your partner benefits from your image softening, where your old content makes her look bad by association. You make convenient decisions about what represents your quote-unquote growth.
Holy shit. Alright kids, overall, these pickles were pretty good, but nothing special. Chex Mix. Which piece is the worst? Alright, so here's the deal. I've been conducting research. I bought a big box of Chex Mix, which apparently is not an easy thing to come by in Canada. Which Chex Mix piece is the worst?
But lo and behold, the real story came out in the Discord leaks. Because of course they fucking did. This is YouTube drama we're talking about.
Ian, you silly guy.
In 2017, Anisa's private Discord server got leaked on Reddit, and what people found was, needless to say, revealing. In private, she admitted to wanting to mooch off of Ian's money instead of building an actual career. She complained about his hygiene to strangers. She shared intimate details about their relationship for clout. But the most damning leak, her admitting that she's threatened to break up with Ian if he had spent too much time on YouTube, if he had focused too hard on his career instead of her. Let that sink in. She's dating one of the most successful creators alive, a guy whose entire income and identity is tied to YouTube, and she's threatening to leave him if he prioritizes it. That's not love, that's what we call control. She also admitted, explicitly, in writing, that she was clout chasing, that she wanted attention and validation from the online community, that her entire presence was performance-based. This is the person that Idubbbz had chosen to marry. And this is the person he was defending publicly, and this is the person who is pulling the strings on all of his career decisions.
This is the truth, okay? Ian keeps me on a leash, okay? And I'm okay with that because I need to be on a leash. I need to be on a leash, a tight leash, to be honest, because I am unhinged.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Apparently Ian's been the one keeping Anisa on a leash this entire time. Okay, yeah, that clears everything up. That makes total sense. Like how Anisa has to be the one to tell Ian that he's hungry during his own personal training, like he knows him better than Ian knows himself.
First of all, the gym that we're out of is this guy Luca Hosever's gym, and it's called Vigor Ground Athletics. He was the one that did their programming in the beginning. When they went on some show and they were like, Ian, how did you gain all this weight? She was like, oh, I studied kinesiology.
That's
and I'm like,
crazy.
wait. I'm like, how did you studying kinesiology dig him to gain weight? Like, that makes no sense.
That's called a 10-punch
Jab combo.
By 2023, Idubbbz had fully pivoted from being a content creator to being an event organizer. His big project, Creator Clash 2, is a celebrity boxing event that he was promoting as a charity fundraiser. Creator Clash 1 had already made $1.3 million for charity. Anisa was heavily involved in planning Creator Clash 2, and they were expecting some massive numbers from this.
You guys may have heard that we've recently announced Creator Clash 2. We're doing that again. Tickets are on sale today. I'll give you guys more details as we go through this video. I can't believe that these people who who fought the first time are willing to come back and do it again.
A few moments later.
We lost $250,000 on the event.
Creator Clash 2 had ended up losing $250,000. Zero of this money went to charity. Not a single one of the 14 partner charities received any donations. The pay-per-view for this fight only got 50,000 buys instead of the 200,000 that they had projected. The cost of the management was abysmal. Fighter stipends were inflated at over $20,000 each. The arena was oversized, and there was virtually zero piracy prevention. Fuck. But here's where it gets even worse. Fighter Froggy Fresh, formerly known as Krispy Kreme, trained with Idubbbz for months. He trusted the process, and then suddenly, he was kicked out from the event. The official reason? He had been training with the one, the only, the Sandy Hook shooter, Sam Hyde himself. Controversial figure who, among other acts of terrorism, has publicly criticized Anisa. Froggy said he was threatened with legal action, and he was asked to repay his $15,000 training stipend. He was never given a formal explanation. When confronted, Idubbbz claimed Froggy was removed solely because of the Sam Hyde association. Nothing to do with Froggy Fresh criticizing Anisa, or her alleged involvement in the removal decision.
The main reason Froggy was kicked from the card was for collaborating with Sam Hyde. And, for anyone who's been following the story, that's, fairly obvious. Froggy has explained his side of the story multiple times. And unfortunately, he's been perpetuating a narrative that it's about OnlyFans or that it's about Anisa's mom. And that's extremely deceptive because he knows why he was kicked from the card. The one indication I gave him was Sam Hyde, and I wasn't unclear about that.
For some extra context, the creator Froggy Fresh was set to fight Chris Reagan at the Idubbbz Creator Clash 2, but he was removed because he had joked that he would pay for Anisa's OnlyFans if he had lost the fight.
On April 15th, if I don't hurt you beyond what anybody could have imagined, I will be so disappointed in myself that I will subscribe to Anisa's OnlyFans.
That's definitely the exact type of bullshit explanation that Idubbbz spent his career calling out on other creators. The Creator Clash 2 disaster showed the world something important. Idubbbz was willing to bend the truth, make incomplete explanations, and throw people under the bus, as long as it protected Anisa's reputation. The brand that was once built on consistency and truth had just become another hypocritical creator, protecting his partner instead of his values.
Is experimenting on 10 children to obtain a cure for thousands of kids' lives justified? That's a really hard question.
Creator Clash 2 wasn't even the closest to the worst thing that Idubbbz did. That came later, when his actions revealed something darker. Now, I'm sure most of you know the Idubbbz story that are watching this video, but this next part of the story is going to talk about some pretty sensitive subjects, so if you are sensitive to SA and all that, I would recommend skipping this part of the video, and there is a timestamp right here for you to skip past all that junk. Ready? Okay. Ian's boxing coach had a wife named Katie. Katie has a specific story. She was married off at the age of 12, in a state where parental consent made illegal. She was given to an adult man who raped her repeatedly. She had 2 children before she had even escaped. By 2024, Katie had become an advocate against child marriage. She had asked Ian and Anisa for help. She wanted them to help promote the legislation in California that would prevent what happened to her from happening to other kids. Ian and Anisa refused. They wouldn't help. They wouldn't signal boost. They just said no. Ian and Anisa had realized that if they decried child marriage, it would upset Hassan Piker and his Muslim fan base. And then, while discussing various failures and quote-unquote losers involved with Creator Clash on stream, Idubbbz specifically mentioned his boxing coach and his wife. He called them disgraced. He had mocked them. And Ian, in an act of deflection, decided to try to make this all about money, ignoring the real issue at hand. You know, really a pretty scummy thing to do if you ask me.
When it got to his coach and his wife, who was a child bride, it's like straight up start to roast them, calling them losers, disgraced. All the roast went to them instead of any other losers that he talked about before.
For some reason, this stupid fucking loser and his dumb as rocks wife decided to go on the H3 podcast. They already spilled their guts. They were getting paid like $5,000 to go on this podcast. I think they were maybe afraid that they wouldn't get the money if they didn't thoroughly trash us. When my rancid boxing coach and his wife decided to go on the H3 podcast as like this mutual exchange of talking shit about Anisa and I in exchange for $5,000, that was sort of under the premise that I owed them some sort of bonus money. There was never a bonus. I never spoke to these losers about a bonus.
Let me be clear about what just happened. A woman who had survived childhood sexual abuse asked a man that she had trained for years to help prevent the abuse that had happened to others. He said no, and then he publicly ridiculed her and her husband. The Idubbbz of 2015 would have made a content cop about someone doing this exact same thing. And regardless if I talk about shit like this in kind of a lighthearted tone, I'm a shithead, okay? I make short little commentary videos for you guys to kind of, learn stuff from and laugh at sometimes. Ian, on the other hand, is basically morally grandstanding his entire current career. So with him, it doesn't really leave a good taste in your mouth like it does with me. Like and subscribe, of course. Hit that bell, you fucking chud. And make sure you leave a comment for engagement. Sponsored by BetterHelp, of course. But anyways, back to the video.
This is no longer a dream, this is a nightmare. Wake up.
By 2025, things had started falling apart publicly. Ethan Klein from the H3 podcast started calling out Idubbbz on the relationship. In July, he had made an explicit prediction on air. Anisa would divorce Idubbbz within a year. He claimed that she was manipulating Ian, using him for connections, and neither of them seemed happy. Rather than simply ignoring the criticism, Anisa leaked their private direct messages onto social media. Therapy details, medicinal information, private conversations between Ian and Anisa, and H3 employees. Good ol' Ethan fired back, calling her a pathetic shit stain of a human being, and Idubbbz, he stayed silent. He didn't defend Ethan. He didn't defend anyone. He was just watching his wife blow up their relationship and did nothing. This was his friend of several years that he made a bunch of very popular videos with. And, they were just, really buddy-buddy. So for him to let his wife do this and to run her mouth is just fucking crazy. Because that's what he does now. He protects the person damaging his life and sacrifices everybody else. Signs of a really healthy relationship and someone that has self-respect. Look at the pattern. When criticized, Anisa responds aggressively. She leaks information, she attacks, and yet again, she doubles down. And Idubbbz? He just either defends her or stays silent. Either way, he looks complicit. Now, just to clarify, I know a lot of the stuff in the video I've said is kind of irrelevant, but I really don't think I need to go into detail about fucking Creator Clash 3. Everybody heard about it. It's still fresh in all of our minds. It happened in summer of 2025, and it was kind of the YouTube drama of that said summer. There's nothing I could really add to that situation to, make it, relevant or make this video worth watching. Instead, you're here to listen to me just shouting to a mic at 2 in the morning. However, I will say, I've kind of wanted to make a video about Anisa for a while now, and as well as Idubbbz. But, shit in life just kind of happened. I wasn't able to get around to it. And I work a full-time job, I've got relationships, I've got family to worry about. But the thing that really made me lock in and make this video was some recent drama that came out about Anisa. Anisa apparently knew about fucking Dr. Disrespect and said nothing about it. Yes, that Dr. Disrespect that was texting minors that were underage in an inappropriate way.
So glad Dr. Disrespect news is finally out. I was holding on to the information for years and wasn't allowed to say anything. Someone responds with, same. Also, the fact there's some more shit that people don't know yet. Anisa responds, oh shit, so you know. Okay, I wasn't sure how many people knew. I wonder if that will ever come out.
That's not very Reddit wholesome, I might add. That's not very nice, Anisa. Why would you do something like that? And the way it was said kind of implied that she knew about it before everyone else did. So, why didn't she say anything about it? If she thought it was such a morally reprehensible thing, shouldn't she have said something about it? And, given this whole situation with the whole trainer wife thing, this really just looked good on you, Anisa. I'm not saying anything, but this is a really fucking bad look for you. This is a bad look for you and your pathetic husband. More is gonna come out about this. This video will probably be outdated, but come on, bro. This is fucking crazy. I did not expect this kind of drama development from this situation. But anyways, back to the video.
It's just really, it's really hard to be a couple online and see people attacking their partner.
Idubbbz did not have to end up here. He had a choice. Multiple choices, actually. He could have ended their relationship when the Discord leaks came out. He could have taken accountability instead of apologizing for his entire career. He could have helped the child bride survivor. He could have been honest about Creator Clash 2's failures instead of lying about Froggy Fresh. He chose different. He chose Anisa. He chose to protect her instead of his principles, and in doing so, he destroyed his brand and it took him years to build. And the hardest part? He's not alone. Young men, especially successful ones, make the exact same mistake every day. They stay in relationships that destroy them because they are afraid of humiliation of divorce. They invested too much time and money. They genuinely love someone they're incompatible with. They've become isolated from people who would tell them the truth. They keep hoping that the person will change. None of these are good reasons to sacrifice your integrity, your credibility, and your life's work. Idubbbz learned that lesson too late. The question is, will you? And this makes me so thankful that I have such a kind, loving, caring, and beautiful girlfriend. Unlike Ian.